Hello, sis. We are back for Easy Talks. I don't know why I got one. Easy Talks. Like I just got fingers in the air. Okay, let me stop. So we are back for episode 2. I'm kind of saying
Yes,
one. I don't know, like I don't really know the correct terminology for what we're doing, but we just gonna make it up.
that's what we do. We just go with
Yeah,
no, it's not making it up, it's flow.
it is flow.
Flow.
Yes, but
Yes.
I recognize too that I'd be quick to just kind of throw some words together and I'd be like, in this moment it sound right. So we just gonna go with it. All right. So again, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I am the E in Easy and I am Erica, and this is my soul sister, the Z in Easy.
Yes. Hey y'all. Excited. So excited for episode 2.
Yes, episode 2. Boop, boop. So my soul sister and I met last week, and I was like, ooh, so let's do an Easy Talks every month, and let's come together and let's figure out what we're going to talk about. So we sat down, we had a business lunch meeting, including Lil Mama, and we did the thing. And then last night, I was like, sis, listen, this just came to me. Can we just flip it and switch it? And you was like, let's get it.
Let's get it. Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously. Yes.
Yes.
It
So talk about it. So what are we gonna talk about today, sis?
girl, it's so much in this space of healing. It's like God's source universe prepares you for what's coming, right?
Talk about
And it's like never before have I experienced what I am enduring right now. And I won't say endure. Endure is not the proper word, but what has been brought to my mind's eye. Never before have I thought it would have been. And to protect those that I am still waiting to accompany me in this space, um, it puts me in a complete space of gratitude. It puts me in a complete space of admiration, respect, and just a love that I never knew I could have.
it. I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
the
It's
love
it's
you never knew you could have.
yeah, yeah. And then just seeing that what has come to me, the way I responded was not a reaction because
Mm,
my response is still very paused-ish, if you will.
hmm.
But let's just say family is something. Is that enough? Family is something. And you
Family
know, as
is.
my mom told me years ago, something, right? So we were talking about something and I was upset and it had to do with family. Like one of my cousins said that I was too fat to be in her wedding. And another cousin told a friend of hers when we ended up sharing space, she was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to meet you. I was scared to meet you based off of what this that cousin had told you." And I thought to myself, damn, I'm a pretty good person. So why would anybody be scared to share space with me? So when I shared that with my mom, she's like, Dinky, what you have to remember is this. And yes, Dinky is my nickname, y'all, just because it is Z, but I threw Dinky in there. So they're like, who is that? Is she talking about somebody else? Not one of my many parts, but my nickname. So she's like, Dinky, look, she said, what you have to remember is that families are made up of people. People are in the world, but these people you just so happen to have blood relation to. It doesn't mean you have to like them because they're family, you love them, just like we should love all people, right? But it still hurts when it's that family that you ride for, and then for things to come back your way. So when she said that years ago, it still resonates for me right now. But I still will say, what is this, the 11th,
Mm-hmm.
July 11th, 2023? Family
Yes,
is something, boy.
it is. It is. And I think like growing up for me, I didn't really know my mom's side of the family. And with my dad's side of the family, I grew up at a young age with my like going on frequent visits to Muskegon to see my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. And then as I got older, things just kind of shifted and moved. And then
Mhm.
when I turned 16 and I was no longer welcome at my dad's house, and so I lived predominantly with my mom. I just was like totally removed from my family on my dad's side. And so
Mhm.
I really there's not a lot of contact. Like it'll be a text every now and again. When COVID hit, we did like a Zoom meeting with all of us. We jumped on. But it really wasn't until I released my book that like um somehow, I don't think it was the book, but like I made it into the family group chat, which I was like, wow, like I had heard about the family group chat. I just had never been part of it. You know what I mean? Like, and so
Like,
I'm like,
perfect now.
oh,
Thank you.
exactly. Like, oh wow, thank you so much. Like I didn't even know this was a thing. And I think like the book opened up the door. Yeah, real life, sis, for like more communication. And so my
Right.
cousin dropped some stuff on me, and I was just like, I didn't even like. I feel like because I had been an outsider to my family, I didn't know like how close or how frequently my family was in communication with each other, because I'm like, I'm not like, I don't talk to
Wow.
y'all. I don't know nothing about y'all. Like they don't know what's going on in my life,
Right.
what's going on in their lives. And I didn't even know, like I said, it was a whole thing. And so, like I said, when I got
Right.
added and then the book dropped and the book sparked conversation, and then I'm just like, I had been wanting to go to Texas because every year in Texas there's a family reunion where all my family comes together, and I just haven't made it, whether it be finances, whether it be mainly finances. But there hasn't really also been an intention to set money aside to make the family trip something that actually happened. It's just been like, oh, I would like to go. You know, I know that my grandma is, you know, every day is a new day. She's getting older, all of the things. So, anyways, this year I was like, I really want to go. And I think it's because I went to my cousin's wedding and I got to see family I hadn't seen. The book drop. My family was super supportive. And I was like, I want to go. But I'm like, there's this piece of me though that felt off about it. But
Mhm.
I want to bring this topic up because I feel like there's such a societal, cultural narrative put on the importance of family. And for me, I'm
Mhm.
like, I have people in my life, and I know it's both ways, but let me finish my statement. I have people in my life who, who show up regularly for me. Like they just show
Right.
up, like, and them showing up motivates me to show up. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
the value of them in my life also motivates me to want to show up. So for instance, like you and I, like we call each other soul sisters with intention and with purpose, because you have carved out a space in my life that is invaluable and that is
Thank
priceless
you.
and that is sacred and that is like we laid our foundation brick by brick over the last couple years to create what we have now, and it was both of us doing that.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like with family it's kind of like this past, like, oh, we blood, so, and I'm like, wait, what does that mean though? Like, because you blood,
Yeah.
like you just get passes to treat me or to talk about me, or like, and so that's why like I really feel like it's so important that we talk about this, because as we are in our evolutions and on our journeys, and then we got people in our life who like kind of are, kind of aren't, like, but they're part of our life because they have blood ties to us. Like what does that
Right.
mean? Like how do we incorporate all of that? Like, because real life, like, should you get a pass because you blood? But I'm like, if I wouldn't let anybody else, if I would not intentionally share space with people who I know talk about me behind my back, like I've had conversations, like I don't know how many times I've been cut off from my family and didn't even know I was cut off because I don't even talk to them. But then I hear all this
Right.
stuff and I'm like, y'all cutting people off, like, because y'all don't like the way
Right.
people show up, or like even for me with the book, and like my willingness and my determination to talk about stuff that's uncomfortable, family has a tendency to be like, oh, we're not gonna talk about it. How everybody in the room knows something is going on and ain't nobody gonna talk about it though? Like years and years. So I would love
Okay.
for you to
See,
speak
now you
on that,
just hit
sis.
a spot.
That's what I'm saying. I want you to speak on it because you also
Oh,
have
good.
this stuff going on in your family through your evolution, through your journey. And for you, like, it's bow, 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 bow. Like, you got one thing after another coming at you when it comes to family. So please, like, talk about your journey and where you at and
Right.
how you're navigating the things through your own healing.
So it's funny when you talk about, the mom side, the maternal side, right, and the paternal side. So for me growing up, it was always like it's the maternal. It is my mom, my mom's family, my one granddad, my one grandma. Um, and so growing up with that mindset, it negatively impacted me in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
However, from the standpoint that, well, and let's come back. The reality of it is though I was raised that way, my mother was very intentional about me seeing my paternal grandmother. Though
Mhm.
my father was absent for a myriad of reasons, which I'm not in a space to get into now, just from a whole the situations. Um, it it made me feel and almost made it made allowed me to put my family on a pedestal, if you
Right.
will.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's almost like it's this side of me that doesn't even exist. So in the healing process for me, I've dug deep into the fact, no, Zinda, it takes an egg and a sperm.
Right.
You need both.
Right.
And it's I think where families go wrong in thinking they're protecting from certain things, I think we do a disservice to the child.
Right.
I get protecting. However, I also think that there needs to be somebody looking out for the mental health of a person. Not saying
Mm.
that, I'm going to go crazy or someone else might go crazy, but you never know. Grateful, so thankful to God that I'm in a space, mind, body, spirit, and soul, but most so in my mind where I'm able to handle it now. So for me now at 49 and a half years old, I reconnected with my dad's sister, my bio dad's sister. And she's somebody that, yep, I knew my whole life. But because of that familial imprint, if you will, and that push to only honor that maternal side of my existence, if you will, um, things happened. My grandmother got sick. She had dementia, Alzheimer's dementia, and before it was a thing, we didn't know what it was. We just thought she was acting different, right?
Mhm.
But in reality, she was sick. But again, because I'm all about team mom, and then at 16 too, it was hard, right? At teenagers, right? You're going through it, you're hearing all and feeling all of the stories and fielding through it and just saying, forget it. I will never forget that I my bio dad reached out to me when I was 16 years old. And when I tell you I was so rude to him based off of what I had been told or what
Mhm.
I'd seen, I was just me.
Mhm.
Like my mom's got me. She's always had me. It's no need for you to reach out to me now. And now at 49, hearing
Mhm.
the true stories,
Mhm.
not just from his side of the family, but even from my mom,
Mhm.
and not hearing everything yet. I'm sure there's some things that still have to be, revealed and that will come to fruition for me. But just, hearing that stuff now and then having and I kind of lost train of thought, but I'm going to just stick to where I'm going because we raw. It's like with my aunt now being able to connect with her. She was in Dubai for work, but she came into town and we talked about a lot of stuff that hurt. And then what I realized though in that, with just focusing on that maternal side, I actually have a half sister that I've known since I was younger, known about, I should say. And so when I met with my aunt, she posed to me, she said, I read your books And she said, can we talk about it? Which I thought was awesome. Like, can we talk? And I'm like, oh God, like what? I'm thinking it'd be something like about the grammatical stuff but she
Mhm.
was like, no, may I ask you a question? And she was like, yes. And she said, well, in your bio, you said that you were an only child. And I said, well, I am. But the reality is my bio has had another child, right? And even though I may feel that way, is it okay for me to put that out there when I know that there is at least 50%? You get what I'm saying? That there is
Right.
somebody out there that is a sibling for me. And so I had to really look at myself and say, dang, even though that was a space of healing for me, that could potentially hurt that sister, right?
Right. Right.
Because I'm only looking at it from my side. And again, maternal. But it takes two, right?
Mhm.
And so just being able to share space with my bio dad's baby sister, who was very integral in my life growing up in my younger years. And with time, you lose track or whatever, and then things happen, and you put your foot in the sand, like, because what you believe to know is true is gospel, right? Even though a lot of truths that I've thought are not quite the truth, you
Mhm.
know. I'll just leave it there for now. Um, but then and you talk about people looking at you, your family seeing you, and everybody knows everything in the room but you. So
Right.
navigating that space too, and it's like, as far as even giving family the pass, I did that for years, sis. I did it for years. I have family members that are so disrespectful. They have no boundaries. But because I always did, you call me and here I come. You need me to do what? Absolutely. Forget the fact that I may have had ABs doing all of the things, doing the most, right? And so now in this space of just getting back to me, right? Understanding my authentic self, knowing truly what that means, understanding my essence from the spirituality standpoint, and just understanding who I was created to be, and just in sheer love for self, saying, no, you don't get to treat me like this anymore. And you speak of family reunions, and like we have them every 2 years. We have one coming up. And I was planning, on the committee, helping plan it. And I have so many other things that I'm trying to build. And then you talk about family not, even though they think they support, but disregarding what I'm building. Like it's nothing. Like, go get a job. No, this is my job. What I'm creating
Right.
is my job. So, and again, that's lack of respect for me. Even though they may not see it that way, that's what it is. And just I'm not going. I'm being intentional about where I show up in all ways and always. So that particular weekend, because I'm in an odd spot with my family, I'm going to just be true. And I keep in mind, I do have close relationships with family members. Now I can say on both sides, right? But I have those relationships. I make contact with them because I too get left out of stuff. And it's,
Mhm.
cool. I'm good with that now. But don't call and expect me to show up and show out for you when you don't honor and respect me. And not even
Right.
honor, that's not the proper word. Just sheer respect. Respect of just being a black woman in a family that, I mean, and I come from a family that out of 8 children, 6 of them are women on my maternal side. So you imagine that imprint, right? That imprint of just strong, dominant, masculine, living from the masculine space, and just, but no, I'm just, family can be the best thing and it can be the worst thing. But at the end of the day, if I don't choose to show up for me, if you don't choose to show up for you, if whomever else doesn't choose to show up from them, then we'll never really understand our space and really have our true value in the space of family.
Mhm.
Right? Because if you're not honoring me, if you're not respecting me, and you're doing it because in the role of that, because you're an aunt or you an uncle or you are this, that's cool ish when I'm a kid. But as a grown ass woman, not okay anymore.
Right.
So when my reunion is coming, I made the intention because, being empty nesters and having our son back home for the summer, I have to make time for my husband, right? Because now it's a different dynamic in the home. And so instead of doing what I always do and going there and showing up and being there, yep, I could, but home is important too. My marriage is
Mhm.
important too. You know what I mean? So initially was like, well, I'm not going because I just forget it. They are disrespectful. And not all of them, but enough of them. Ones that I feel should do better. But again, not being able to say that directly to them. They'll hear about it now if they watch Easy Talks.
Right, right.
But that is one of those things where I'm making a decision to put me first. And putting me first also means putting myself as wife first. So as much as and I really can't say I'm gonna miss it because I have some really interesting feelings right now that I again not ready to fully. I'm still, unpacking and processing. But just really leaning into making sure that I am the type of cousin, family member that that next generation needs. That's literally what I'm
Mhm.
thinking about when it comes to the family. Because I've had on both sides, I'll say I've had some very good supportive, aunts, and I want to be able to do that for my younger cousins, things of that nature, so that they know that I'm here. So I feel like I'm just taking a step back just because it's not my season in the family. Does that make sense? That literally just dropped down. You know how there's seasons in and out of things. And, I've let go of a lot of organizational affiliations and things of that nature. But right now it's time to step back away from the family
Mm.
in totality, if that makes sense,
Yeah. And
without losing the connection. You get what does that make sense?
yeah, it makes total sense. And
Okay.
one of the things that I love about us so much is like the fact that right now we're both having our familial, whatever, just let the word just fall out my mouth. All the letters at once just fall out. You know what I'm talking about, the bam bam, um,
Right.
hiccups. And it's like our situations are so different, but they're rooted in the same place. And like as I hear you talk, like I think back, like I always like I just wanted that close knit family, like just all of the things. And I realized like that's one of my patterns. Like I have a tendency to want what I don't have and fantasize, like legit, like completely fantasize about like how just spectacular and just amazing and wonderful and this whole thing that I'm missing out on. And then it's like as I get closer to like seeing what it is, I'm like, oh no, I don't want that though. Like, and I'm like, because for me, I'm
Look,
like,
that's okay. I take it back. I take it back. I take it back.
yes, because I'm like, since like for so long, like I was very fake. You know what I mean? Like very fake in the sense, like we're just gonna pretend. We're gonna put this facade. We're gonna wear this mask. Everything is fine. Everything is great. Don't worry about anything. And that's BS. And I see like that comes from the family, like all this stuff that has happened, and we just gonna act like it's there in the room, but we just gonna act like it's not there. We just gonna
Yeah.
go like the discussions that are had. Like I think about the last two retreats that I've gone to through Be Well, and I'm like, the stuff we talk about and no, like it's deeper than anything I've ever talked to my family about. Anything. Like
That's why I can't wait until this when it's September. I can't
September,
wait because
October, yeah.
yes. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Because
can't
I'm
wait.
like, and that for me, I feel like it's like that's what I truly desire. Like I want to share space intentionally, and I don't want to have any like, oh, because it's family, or because you've known this person for 20 years, or because of this. No, like I want to add value to those I share space with, and I want
Right.
those I share space with to add value and authentic. Like I don't want to just talk about the weather. I don't want to talk
Let me
about
ask
what's
you
going on
this.
in the news.
Do you feel like you can, and I say you to me too, do you feel like that your family is ready for authenticity though? I mean, when you
No,
think about that, because the
no,
conversations that we have in the families, do you really think that
no,
that your family, do I think my family, girl,
no. And I come up mask and toe because I'd be like, okay. I get all prepared. I get all ready, and I'm about to show up fully. I'm about to show up wholly. I'm about to show up as me, and they're gonna get to know the real Erica girl. And I come in, I got my whole mask on my face, just the whole just mask up. Yeah, and I follow suit. Since like that's the part too. Like I fall right in. What did they say happened on the news? Get girl, you right now.
And in
Why
your
are
mind,
you?
you like, I don't want to talk about this. Girl,
Listen,
it's a
but I
scene on.
do.
I used to too, and
And
I
I'm like,
can't anymore. I
and I be
can't.
like, we're not. We be driving. I'm like, okay. Like I said, I be prepping myself. And as soon as I slide in there, I get anxious, I get nervous, and I get awkward. Like, girl, I get so awkward. I just be in there like so just I put my hands on, I just be like, okay. Like I just treat like
Like,
and
yeah, it was like,
yes, big old eyes. Oh, it is not funny, Erica. What are you doing right now? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like it just, I can go into
you're
characters.
crazy. Oh,
I
you are so
do.
crazy.
It's so real though. And I even,
I know.
it don't matter what I said I was gonna do. When I get in there, I go straight into just ready, lights, camera, action, go, scene. And I be in there like, yeah, yeah, I know, right? Oh my goodness.
And you are physically drained by the time you leave.
uh,
It's so defeating, self-defeating, right? So it's like, why continue to show up in those spaces? And again,
right,
and I'm not saying I won't ever show up to a family reunion again. That's not what I'm saying. However, in this season of my life, I feel in order to truly respect myself, because and just to give a little more context, briefly context, it's like I was on the planning committee at one time with this current reunion. However, another cousin who was helping me, I was actually co-helping her. She ended up having her twins, yada yada yada. And I was like, Linda, can you really handle this on your own? Why are you doing it? And you have a whole family unit out there where the city that is going to be located and had. Why are you doing this? You're trying to build a business. Your son is home. You got to finish planning out what his this next steps are. Your oldest kid, she's getting ready to prepare for medical school. You are again building a business. What does that look like? Are you taking care of you?
mm,
Am I building a relationship with my mother? Because at the end of the day, I'm 49 now. I'm 49 and a half. And what I will say as far as the family unit, girl, I'm having a massive hot flash. I'm
it's
like
okay.
sweating. Oh my goodness. Bear with me as I fan and talk. But it's one of those things that in my healing, that is the one of the relationships that has grown and evolved the most. Where I can show up myself and where my mother is treading water to try to see if she gon' fully open up all the way in, because it's a trust thing. I'm her daughter. It's certain thing, but we're at a space where, as far as family goes, that's where that extra time is going to go, right? Where
Exactly.
I can curate space where my mom is, and travel, and all of this I'm doing, sis. And yes, it's for me. Yes, it's for my family, the family that my husband and I created, but it's for my mom. I want so much to give her a life that she doesn't have to worry about a thing,
Right.
And so, but just that space as mother and daughter from an extended, well, that's not even really extended, I guess, so to speak, but um, it's that's where that focus is going to be, because
Right.
it's such a, because I see my mom. You get to a certain age, you can see your mom, and I see her as a woman and I think I blogged about this, having a human experience that's had a past, that has feelings, that's had emotions, um, that is just going to continue to grow, right, and to
Yeah.
evolve. So that, and I think once that, and that's just a priority, because again, family, love them, but they're not always the best.
Right.
Just say that.
And I think what really, like what I have come to realize through, especially as I'm diving into my readings and my teachings and my studying and just all of the things, I'm like, it is not up to me to wait for them or to expect something of them. That is out of
Right.
pocket. It is, if
Right.
I am the one who is seeing all of the things, it is my responsibility to show up wholly and fully regardless. And I feel like for
That part.
me, that like they're just mirroring. So really like there's an opportunity for a place of gratitude because
Yeah.
in seeing them, I see me clearer. And so, just like how I said, like I prepare and I rehearse and I do all of these things, it's not just them. And so I'm like, it's an opportunity to dive in deeper to me and be like, Erica, like, what is going on with you that makes you feel like you have to shapeshift when you share space with certain people? What is going on with you that you feel like you have to have like my inferiority complex gets so deep that I then boomerang to the superiority and try to find something to hold on to, like, oh, well, I'm working on this. I just released a book. I just clamoring onto something to make me have value in this space. And I'm like,
Right.
all of that is not even when you talk about the essence and like the authenticity, like that's not me. And so I'm like, what is going on again within me that gets triggered so deeply where I am not enough? And that's the next phase is like, I want to be in a place where I can show up as me no matter where I go. It don't matter who,
Right.
but when, where, and that's
When
the
you choose to go, when you
yes,
choose to go, and see, that's the thing. And see, and when you talk about you feeling inferior at some point within your family, I feel like I felt the same way. I was always trying to show them, like, especially, feeling like being the only child. Um, it's like, see me, I'm going to do this. Oh, you need help? Okay, I'll do this. I'll do that. And so now I'm in a place where it's like, no, I do what's organic. I do what's in love. And it's always been in love, but it didn't honor my schedule, if you will. It didn't honor other things and other priorities that I had. Because I was like, don't forget about me, see me, and
right,
now it's like, you know what? It doesn't even matter anymore. You don't have to see me, and like unpacking, some of the things. That's the thing about in families too. People talk about you, talk about each other sometimes. I've released that kind of mindset.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
I tell my mom, I'm like, the only thing I'm giving is positive energy. It's towards things that are going to send out beauty into the world, right? I want to be a light. And we've talked about that before too. Like, my only conversation is going to be in light and love, because what you put out, no matter if you're intending to or not, it's going to come back any type of way. And so, like, to hear things that have been said about me, like, through the years, and then to like sit across from them or see them. And for
right,
some reason, my presence makes some of them uncomfortable now. Like, one made a comment that like my mom was weird or I was weird. And it's like, we're not weird. We're just showing up authentic.
right,
We're just being Zinda, and my mom's name is Zinda too. Well, her name is Zinda. My name is Zinda Lynette. I was like, no, we're just being Zinda and Zinda Lynette. So when you start having that change and realizing, like, I don't have to like beg for y'all to see me. Who's supposed to see me sees me, but most importantly, I see myself. I
yeah,
see myself. And so once you
yeah,
start seeing yourself, people start, it's getting a little uncomfortable in some of those familial spaces where they don't, see you, or for whatever reason are seeing you through other filters. And a lot of times in families, and this is what drives me crazy, we hop on the bandwagon of our parents,
yeah,
and really don't know, understand, get all the really what's going on, but then we're perpetuating BS.
mm-hmm.
It's like, it's time to just love, love, love. And if that means for me being away for a little bit, that's what I'm gonna do.
Exactly. And I feel like that as we're wrapping up, because we have about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Just I was like, where did the time
Yes,
go?
I love that because it goes back to us empowering ourselves to make choices. So even though we're removing ourselves from that contact for different reasons, again, it is rooted in the same thing, that it's not your problem why I am stepping away. It is my intentional choice to step away because I know myself well enough to know that this does not serve my highest good in this moment. And so it is nothing against you, family, but it is me seeing me and having an opportunity to honor what I see when I see me.
Divine downloads.
Yeah. All right. Well, please, we're going to say our goodbyes because we got less than a minute, but we'll be back in August with another episode of Easy Talk.
Yes. And thank you. I love you, sis. I love you
too so much.
All right.
Until next
much
time.
Gratitude to you. Until next time.
See you on Friday, girl.
Yes. Boom. And we have the sound bowls. Ashley Watson. So excited. Demar West with Yoga
Doing
Nidra.
Yoga.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. And some flyers are coming out, so stay tuned.
Come through. All right.
Yes. All right. Love you, sis. Talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye.